up, boys, and welcome back to another video. So in this video we're gonna address a question, well, something suggested by a lot of you guys, because I made a video on my personal top 5 group farms in the game, and I asked you guys if you want me to do a solo one, a different one, like basically just answer questions. And this guy, Mr. Funky, he said top 5 solo farms would be nice, and 43 people uploaded a comment. It was the comment with the most upvotes. So I'm gonna address my personal top 5 gold farms in WoW, like solo ones. So a lot of these are going to be, well, kind of obvious for a lot of you guys, especially the people who watch me on my live streams quite often. But we're going to address them anyways. So first of all, my top 5 gold farms, I'm going to mention more than 5, right? Because there's going to be a lot of dungeons farms. Because open world farms, most of the mobs are connected to quests, meaning that you can go in with 5 people, 4 spawn them, and it's personal loot. So you just get more loot that way. So I'm going to go through some dungeons. And after I've told you guys what my favorite dungeon farms are solo, I'm going to tell you guys about some of my, like, besides from dungeons, what kind of gold farms do I like to do solo besides from dungeons, which is not really, surprisingly, not really that many right now. But keep in mind that a lot of the farms that we do in a 5-man group now, I used to do solo, like back in the days. It's just that they're better now with 5 people, and if you don't do it with 5 people, the gold per hour is not going to be that good anymore, because the prices have, like most of them, has gone down, because you can now do it with 5 people and get way more loot. So basically, dungeons, as I said, we're going to go to classic, because like the majority of the good transmog is in classic. The first dungeon that I would like to mention is going to be RFD. Like, RFD is really, really good. I love it. RFD is not a dungeon you want to go to if you don't have that many auctions on the auction house and you want to fill up the auction house, because RFD is basically for big ticket items. There's a few minor transmog items, but RFD is really good for big ticket items. You get big ticket transmog, not super big, but it's like between 10,000 to like 40,000 gold. And you also have a chance of getting the rich purple, the lesser parry, and the star belt, which is like patterns and plans and formulas worth like 100,000 plus easily. Depends on the realm. And you also have the Syrian golden blade. So RFD is, I'm not saying it's my number 1 farm, like these are just in random order, but it's definitely really high up there. The next one is the Holy Grail. Really, really cool dungeon. I like Uldaman. Uldaman is the dungeon with the most expensive items farmable in the game, and the cool thing about it is it's still not good for a filling. Like, if you want to fill up your auction house, Uldaman is not really the place to go to, but it's definitely the place to go to, like, after a while. Like, you should definitely visit Uldaman before you go to RFD, because Uldaman has a lot of these minor transmog items like the shoveler, excavator's brands, the pit helmet. There's a billion of them, and it has the super items. The item's worth above 1 million gold plus, so it's just really fun to do because the RNG element is really, really big, and you also have the chance of getting all the same patterns, plans, and all of that you can from RFD. Uldaman might be my favorite one, is really, really high up there as well. So we got RFD, we got Uldaman. Next one is going to be a really old one. Love this one, and it's actually a raid. It's a classic raid. It's AQ. AQ has been like kind of the go-to farm for a lot of expansions, because it drops Glorious Legs, it drops Vanguards, it drops the world drops such as Orb of Deception. You have the Flame Skull Shield. Is really, really interesting, and the amount of transmog you can get is enormous, and you get items worth anywhere from 200 gold that sells fast up to a few 100,000 gold. So it's really, really cool. The only bad thing about AQ is that you now have the 5-man farm installators that kind of drags the value down a bit, but it's not really that bad anymore. Like, the prices are actually going up. Glorious leg plates used to be like, how much, like 75k average in EU. They're now up to like 200k. So we're getting there. We're getting back on the horse, and AQ is a dungeon that I've done a lot recently. Next one is going to be RFK. RFK, I really love RFK because I haven't done it that much. I didn't do RFK during WOD, so I wouldn't say it's new to me. I mean, I've probably done like 250 runs, but it's a really good dungeon to fill up the auction house. It drops extremely many items worth anywhere between 500 gold to like 4 or 5,000, and the sell rate is not that bad. And you also have some bigger items. Keep in mind that the weapons have a market value of like 40 to 75k, depending on which one you get, but they're really hard to sell for that value. But there's some armor pieces with tens of thousands of gold value, and they are not that bad to sell. Like the sell rate is not that bad. So RFK, and the last one, like my number 5, is going to be quite similar to BFD. It's going to be BFD, like Black Phantom Deeps, which again is probably a better farm if you want to fill up the auction house than RFK, just because there's even more items with high sell rate from BFD, and it has some mediocre transport, like big ticket, like some staffs and so on, that you can easily sell for like 10 to 25k ish. So BFD is really cool. I love that dungeon, and you guys have probably done that already, right? But it's really cool. So that was my top 5 dungeons. Well, my top 5 solo farms, actually. It could be a top 5 dungeon list, I guess. And these constantly change. Like sometimes I'm really tired of BFD, and BFD wouldn't have made it to the list. And sometimes the value goes down of RFK items, and RFK wouldn't make it to the list. But these are like my at the moment top 5 solo farms. Now, if you guys are bored of dungeons and you want something else to do, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you like a super good solo farm in the open world, because there's not really that many. There is a few, and there's a few that you can make quite a lot of gold on. Some people are farming old materials such as the arcane crystal, which can usually be sold for like 500 gold each, and you can average like 32, I believe. So it's a nice and steady 15,000 gold per hour. But why would you do arcane crystals when you can go out and you can do skinning and make like 30,000 gold plus, or starlight rose and make like 25k plus an hour, and mining and so on, right? So current content farms are really good. The only reason they're not on my list is because I find them extremely boring to do. Like running around in Suramar just picking up herbs for hours after hours, it's super boring, which is the only reason why I didn't make it to my list. If you guys don't mind doing gathering professions, definitely go out in Legion zones, do skinning, do mining, do herbalism. You'll make a shit ton. Like you can farm for 3 hours, get 100,000 gold on most realms. Keep in mind, on most realms. So definitely, if you don't mind doing it, you might just kind of do 1 hour of mining, 1 hour of skinning, log over to another tune, and do 1 hour of herbalism just to mix it up. And it's going to be really strong. Like we did it for months when Legion released. Of course, better prices, but still, they're really strong. A lot of people have forgotten about the Legion gathering, so you don't really have that much competition doing it. And server hop still works great. It really does. Like if you do it well, if you combine it, like if you do server hopping, what I always do when I do Legion gathering is I go to zone where there's like a world boss, or even better, an invasion, because it's so easy to server hop. You can just get to a spot, kill a lot of mobs, skin them, or go to a spot where you know there's a lot of like a cave with veins up, mine them, server hop, and it's going to be really efficient like it used to be before they nerfed server hop. And yeah, the farms that I wanted to mention that I do solo and enjoy quite a bit is going to be class trial farms. So we're talking about dices on a rogue, right? When I say class trial, if you have a rogue or any of these other classes, you don't need to make a class trial. But I love these farms because I play on a lot of different realms. Every time I get gold cap, I transfer to a new realm. So I don't bring all the classes with me. I only bring the classes that I need and I can't have a class trial of, like classes that I'm going to do dungeon farms with, for instance, or the classes where I need to be level 110. So I usually bring a monk and a druid, and I don't need anything else. I make a rogue to pick the dices, like you go in stealth and you pickpocket mobs to get these toys, the dices. And I make a class trial of a mage, because I use it to farm the polymorph teams, like the polar bear and the monkey and the porcupine. Level 100 is enough. The mobs are low level. You're going to one-hit the mobs. So why not just use a class trial? It lasts for 8 hours, and when those 8 hours are over, you can just go ahead and make a new one. And the next one is Warlock. Like a Warlock for Sealed Tomb of Lost Legions. Sells for a shit ton, and a lot of people are forgetting about it. There's so many people who doesn't do it anymore. So like I wouldn't be surprised if you would have like the only one on the auction house. It happens even on my high pop realm 2 times. So yeah, that is basically it. And as always, I will put the links down below in the description of the farms. Hopefully you guys liked the video, and I would like to ask you guys a favor. Like, if you guys could leave the like a question that you want me to answer down in the comment section, I would really appreciate it. And if you guys read a comment that you really like, you're like, I wonder what student has to say about this, make sure to upvote that comment so I see that there's a lot of interest around that question. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you like my stuff, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, bye bye.